So it's not looking good for the future of the James Bond franchise, as you've got this new author that is taking it on. It's the first female 007 author. And it's not the fact that she's a woman, it's more of what she has to say and what she's gonna bring to it. Because as we know with the films, Barbara Broccoli has said they'll never like replace James Bond with a woman. Basically making James Bond a woman. They said they never do that. What I think they mean to say is, yeah, we're not going to replace James Bond with a woman because we ain't fucking bringing him back. I think that's what they really mean. I do see them just dropping James Bond completely, which would be silly because it's the character of James Bond that sells the franchise. And before we start, I think it's worth noting that this person's only got 2 books under her belt. One book was co-wrote with someone else, and her first book came out in 2018. So why they're handing off a franchise to someone that doesn't have a lot of experience, I don't understand that. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. They're always handing these things off to people with little experience. It's like you've got to have more than that to start coming onto a franchise. That just seems a bit silly to me. But these are the decisions that people make for some reason. But once you see what she has to say, what she's bringing to the table, that's when you're like, oh well, this ain't looking good then. Because eventually they're gonna adapt these books into films. And she's hired to write a trilogy. So eventually, at some point, even if they don't do it next, at some point they're going to be adapting these books. But we'll get into it and see what the whole deal with it is. Author Kim Sherwood is to write a new trilogy of James Bond books, becoming the first female author in the series of spy novels created by Ian Fleming. The opening installment, set for release in September 2022, features a world where Bond is missing and will instead focus on a new generation of 00 agents. Sherwood told the BBC she hoped to modernise, that's always a good word to hear, and expand the Bond canon with, wait for it, a feminist perspective. This just spells doom. When are these people going to stop writing about their social fucking views? Because it doesn't work. It's not interesting. When are they going to understand that no one cares about your feminist perspective? All right? See, when you keep bringing your social views into movies and books and stories, it's like it's been done. Okay, it's been done. It didn't work the first time. It's not going to work this time. Especially when you're talking feminist. We know what feminists are like at the moment. They're not really feminists. They're more like, we want to get rid of men and like have them as second-class citizens. That's what a lot of feminists these days are like. They're not just, oh well, we just want equality. That's it. They're more crazy. She promised an ensemble cast of heroes who we can all identify with. Her partnership with Ian Fleming Publications comes as the book franchise, which is the basis of the hugely successful film series, aims to reflect shifting attitudes to representation. There we go, you fucking hacks. That's what it all, every time, I'm just waiting for that word to pop up. Jesus Christ. Just have James Bond, the whole franchise is about James Bond. James Bond is the main character. Just go and create something new. Why can't you just do it? Stop trying to rip off other people and just come up with something brand new. But of course they're not going to do it because it's fucking, it's too hard. It's too hard for them. Sherwood, an award winner for her 2018 novel Testament, told BBC Radio 4's Woman's Hour that Bond has remained an evergreen symbol for Britain because he can change with us. The London-born writer said she would, however, look to the depth of the world in Fleming's original books for character inspiration. So she says, we've always followed 007 before, but there are many other spies who you occasionally hear of in the background of Ian Fleming's novels. I know, because the person that he was writing about was James Bond. That's what the entire thing is about. And that gives me this incredible range to be able to have a whole group of heroes on missions around the world. That's been really exciting for me as a writer. Sherwood, 32, also confirmed that old favourites including Bond's trusted secretary, Miss Moneypenny, and spy boss M will return in the trilogy. Speaking to host Anita Rani, she said it was a lifelong dream come true to be given... Oh, fuck it, was it? Probably a lifelong dream come true because James Bond is just a symbol of toxic masculinity. That's probably why it was a lifelong dream. You can't have fucking masculine characters, can you? Nah. To be given the opportunity to write a Bond novel. Her work will add to the 40 officially licensed James Bond books authored by 6 writers, including Sebastian Faulks, Kingsley Amis, and Anthony Horowitz, since 1953. She said that while it was an honour to put her name alongside such male contemporaries, she was most looking forward to joining an incredible continuation line of women who have helped bring Bond's world to life. The first Bond film, Dr. No, as well as From Russia with Love, were both co-written by Joanna Harwood, and you'll probably realise the difference is these women weren't trying to put their feminist perspective in there. That's the big difference. They weren't trying to diminish James Bond. They weren't trying to... Well, right, they've killed James Bond off. I think everyone knows that by now. So where do they go from here? Now, this is just the books, but these books are going to be adapted. They're just putting in the groundwork for it. Sherwood said that she aims to reflect the complexity and rounded characters of the women in the books that she feels have sometimes been overlooked in the films. Yeah, I know, because James Bond is the main character. That's why they don't get as much screen time, because he's the main character. He's the person we're turning up for. But they think when they do this that they're appealing to women. They don't understand that a lot of women like the same stuff men do. Like when it comes to films like this, because there's a bit of something for everybody. They seem to think that women are just yearning for like something to be aimed at them. But the problem with these people is they don't seem to understand women. It's like, see, when you're taking all these male characters, it's like, you do realise women like to see that as well. These, like, masculine characters and stuff like that. Women like that. Obviously, not all women. You get your women that are in your rom-coms and stuff like that. But when you're talking about films like this, and even if it's like Predator, all these kinds of... It's like, yeah, women like those films as well. It wasn't just only males. In recognition of this, the Bond film franchise recently turned to Fleabag creator Phoebe Waller-Bridge to freshen the gender dynamics in the script for No Time to Die, Daniel Craig's long-delayed, so on. It's a journey Sherwood plans to continue with a contribution to the literary Bond universe. Then she says, I want to bring a feminist perspective to the canon as a young woman writer. I want to honour what's come before. No, you don't. You want to tear down. But also create something new and create a space for us all to be heroes. Because everybody now is just looking to heroes to feel seen. Because they're fucking freaks. Let's just call it what it is. That's what it is. People are looking at heroes and shit going, oh, that's me, that is. No, it isn't. It's a character. You're just watching what he's up to. I don't know why people want to see them. It's like, no, you ain't seen yourself. You yourself are not fucking in it. So how can you possibly see yourself in the character? It's just nonsense. It's just a freak show. Let's just start calling it what it is. I don't need to see myself in a hero, because I watch a film, I go, right, there's the hero. Why am I putting myself into it? Why would I want to put I want to see something that I don't usually see. I don't know why you're trying to put yourself into everything, but it's weird. We're in a very different world now to Fleming's novels, and in some ways the world Fleming was writing about didn't exist. He was writing about this luxurious, materialistic world where Britain had major significance on the international stage during changes in Britain's imperialism. Bond has always been a fantasy, but it's a fantasy that can reflect us and shape us, and I'm so excited to get to be a part of that for a contemporary world. Exactly, it's fantasy, so stop trying to put the real world in it. That's what constantly these people are trying to put. They're trying to put like the current world they're trying to force that into something that's a bit of fun, a bit of fantasy. It's like, we don't need to keep taking everything from the real world and putting it in there. People want escapism. They don't want to keep worrying about maniacs going on about seeing themselves. But this is what everything gets this treatment now. It's like, no, we've got to put a feminist perspective in it. No matter what it is, you can't have anything. You can't have any sort of masculinity in it. We've got to tear that down, because that's apparently wrong. They're just constantly tearing this shit down because they don't like it. It's like, clearly from what she's saying, she doesn't actually like James Bond. She despises him, probably. When you want to change something about a character and you get rid of the character pretty much, it's because you don't like the character. I wish they would just say that. Just say they don't like the character because he's masculine, and we don't like masculine people because reasons. But this is expected for everything now. But this is obviously the way that the films are going to go as well. I would put my money on they might not even bring James Bond back. But this will just be laying the groundwork. Because people say, oh, the No Time to Die wasn't like this like woke thing, but it's like opening the door for it. That's what you've always got to consider. They're just opening up the door, so eventually they just go, oh, who's James Bond? Because they said they won't replace him with a female. They'll just forget him completely. Which would be silly, because it's like, no, people go specifically to these films for James Bond. See, if you want to get rid of James Bond, just go and create a brand new franchise. It's very simple. And it's like, see, if you're already a writer, why is it so hard for you to do? It's not difficult. But they can never just go, well, we'll create this new fit. It's always got to be, no, just get rid of the character. We'll take everything that's already set, and shit we don't like, we'll get rid of it. So it's not looking very good for the future of the James Bond franchise. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they go in the future, but I don't know if they're really gonna bring James Bond back. But that's all I got to say on that anyway. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.